All right. This is the Lazy Jay-Z show.
What up?
Hello, everyone. I just closed out the Google document that was going to. Yep. Okay. Let's try this again. This is the Lazy Jay-Z show. My name is Zab, and this is Hoswell.
I'm Hoswell with a J, not an H.
And I guess we're just gonna try to start another podcast for the third time. I think we should just. How long have I known you?
Too long, bro.
I think I was like 14. I remember being 14 when I met you. You were a prick back then.
So are you, motherfucker.
I still like you, but something told me you were an ass. I was wrong.
We were just more from this cut from the same cloth, but definitely, you know what I mean, give some more background from like South Jersey. High school days when we met each other, freshman year. You think you said that I drew a picture of you with titties?
Yeah, no, okay, so like we went to the same, I guess wasn't it like a combination middle school / high school? Is that what we had going on?
So you were there longer than I was. I literally arrived freshman year.
Okay. So I think at some point it was a middle school. I mean, it was a high school, then it combined into a middle school, which like for man, that's a terrible idea. But yeah, I was there, and then I met you around 14, and then we were both kind of like teenage assholes, and we made fun of a lot of people, and then we got made fun of a lot. And then I remember you drew a picture of me, and I was flying in the air, and the only thing suspending me in the air were my tits. And I remember being so goddamn pissed. Because it looked like me. That's the worst part, is that it was actually like, it actually looked like me. It was awful. And then I can't remember if a girl that I liked saw the picture or not, and I got embarrassed. And that's how our friendship started.
And then it was all up from there. And then, you know what I mean, talking about Oblivion, some magical flying shoes and Morrowinds that I could never find.
I lied to you so many times. Remember I said that you could see the caterpillars grow in trees and shit
all
like that?
All the trees. You're like, bro, those graphics are so insane. You can see the bugs on the trees. I'm like, no way.
I just wanted to be in a marketing company. You were my test pilot.
And then like today, that's like expected. Like if you don't have fucking details on those trees, you're fired. I'm like, holy shit.
So when we were in high school, I think we ended up bonding over music, video games.
Yeah.
And like we just kind of had the same sense of humor. After a while, sometimes our sense of humor got violent. I remember kicking you right in the balls.
Yeah. I remember like not talking to you for like a fucking week after that. That was insane.
You were bending over to pick up I think it was a dodgeball or a soccer ball, and then
that's just our sense of humor, bro. We grew up watching stupid shit, Jackass and whatnot. We'd always prank each other.
I would never do that to somebody now. Let me make that clear. Unless, I mean, I guess the circumstances would have to be ridiculous for me to kick you in the balls. It would have to be awful for me to want to kick you in the nuts. But back then,
I remember sleeping over your house and putting hot sauce in your cereal when you weren't looking.
That's fucked up. Yeah.
And then I also remember waking your ass up with an air horn, and you fucking woke up screaming like.
I think I.
But then you kicked a hole in my wall, so that was also cool.
We scared your cousin together.
That was fun.
That was a very intricate.
Might have had some permanent trauma with that one.
He was always gonna be that way. It's fine. So
but nonetheless, we go hard.
We were in high school together, and at the time, I think we were just kicking off. I remember being very excited around that time. I'm like, oh my god, did you hear about the Nintendo Revolution? Do you remember that shit? And it was just a Nintendo Wii, but they called it the Nintendo Revolution back in the GameSpot days.
Nintendo Revolution, but the Wii definitely did go crazy.
I remember like always being in the tech class, looking up shit on GameSpot and IGN, and I remember like looking at the prototype. If you remember the prototype for the for the PS3 with that boomerang controller. Do you remember that?
I remember the boomerang controller. I remember this beautiful at the time, high tech ass like PS Sphere commercial.
Oh,
You
the
remember that?
baby
It was like a
commercial.
kid. No. That was like the real commercials. This was like a fan made commercial. It was like this fucking gadget looking sphere. This is like this boy. He was just in awe, grabbing this like futuristic looking PlayStation ball, and it looked like it could just fucking predict the future and like give you all your dreams.
I'm gonna Google that while you explain it. Hold on.
It was hilarious. I don't remember in too much detail, but he was just holding this PS3 or this like PS. It might have been PS9. Now that I think about it. But it was like a fan made concept commercial. It was hilarious.
Oh, dude's literally holding an orb.
Yeah, and it's like, holy shit, is this the future of gaming? Like, we had no idea what to expect, but nope, we get this fucking boomerang concept. That shit was like, what the fuck?
The boomerang controller was absurd. I didn't like, even at that age. I think me and you. I mean, I won't speak for you, but for me, I hung on every word on those articles. Like, I just kind of ate everything. So it'd be like, no, of course this is going to be the best thing in the world. Look at the cell processor. Yes. Like, I believed everything. So, like, if I saw that shit, I would believe it. But even at that time, I saw the boomerang controller, and I was like, that shit just looks awful. It looks very uncomfortable.
They definitely hyped the console up on like press conferences. Like, I don't know if Cerny was still working with them at the time. He probably was. And they were just saying all the right shit. Like, you have these legendary cell processors, and it's like 10 times faster than the PlayStation 2. And it is insane what they can come up with. But they weren't telling everybody like how hard it is to develop for that bitch, and how proprietary everything's gonna be. And you're not gonna be able to port your games later in the future. Nobody was thinking about that shit.
No, I mean, they weren't. Like, that was like a time before things were being standardized to like a PC architecture. The other thing that kind of fucked them. I mean, the console was like the most expensive console. I mean, even today, if you tell me a console $600, I'm gonna be like, fuck no.
Yeah.
So like back then,
like one of the most expensive fucking consoles.
I mean, if you, I don't know what the number is, but if you adjust for inflation from 2007, it was 2007, right? The release date for that, 2006.
I want to say 07.
PS3 release date. 2006.
No,
2006. Yep.
2006. Okay.
November 17, 2006. I mean, that was what? 16 years ago, I think. Yeah, 16 years ago. $600 16 years ago must have been like $1,100 in this money, right? Like, that's a lot of money. Yeah. Like, I think that
in today's climate, $600 at that time was like definitely at least $900. You know what I mean?
Minimum, right? Like, yeah, I imagine it would like. So that was very expensive. I think that really boned them. But in any case, not to get too into the PS3 tangent there, we were kicking off the Xbox and the GameCube and the PS2, and then we were, I think, around the same time as we met each other, we were getting into
the next generation at that time.
Shit. The 360, the PS3, and that's when me and you started hanging out, and we would talk about that shit literally all the time.
That's when Nintendo was still exciting. Like, holy shit, GameCube was awesome. What's next?
Yeah, the Wii. The Wii was such. Oh god. I mean, I guess the Wii has some gems, but for me, the 360 was the holy shit internet. That was the console that did that for me. It was like, look at that, I can play with people, and I'm on parties, and it was like legitimately felt brand new and like smooth.
Yeah, it was exciting. So you had to be there.
yeah. Like, you see that shit, and it's like, I don't want to. I mean, the Wii's cool, but like, what I really want to do is I want to figure out what this internet thing's about, and like, what's up at a party chat. So we grew up playing those games together, and we would never shut the fuck up about it. And I think we tried multiple podcasts since then, with like a minimum always 3, but me and you kind of got together and we're like,
the trials and tribulations. Let's just burn the fat, trim the fat, and get straight to the point.
I guess we were both thinking it might be easier just to sort of just get this thing going off the ground without thinking too hard about it. And the less people have to make decisions, right? It's easier for us to sort of just pump out some content that we like. I legitimately want to make. I actually do want to.
Yeah, because sometimes we just catch ourselves having a casual phone call between the two of us, and then next thing you know, we're talking for 40 minutes, and we're like, fuck, we should have been recording this the whole time we're conversating, you know?
Yeah.
So here we are, episode 1, putting that into practice.
So I guess what the fuck you been up to? What you been doing the past couple days? It could be anything, dude. It doesn't have to be about video games. It could be literally anything.
No, I mean, honestly, I'm just planning a trip to New Orleans soon. That's been heavy on my mind. You know, I have a nice play out there that I'm attending for a close friend of mine, and got my family going. I got some friends also coming with me at the same time, handling studio stuff. I also make music, guys. I compose. I actually did the intro of this podcast. Shout out to me.
I guess I figured out a way to. I can put that in the YouTube credits. I can put your stuff in the YouTube credits.
Yeah, you know. So I've been like engineering. I record people on the side. Been a lot of that going on lately, and it'll be a good weekend to take a break and just go to New Orleans and have a good drink over there.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean.
New Orleans is a vibe. It's not the same. Like out there, it's legal to walk around in New Orleans with a drink in your hand outside in the public, as long as it's in a plastic container. If it's in glass, they'll be like, "Hey, you can't do that." But if it's in a plastic container, it's all good. You're just walking around like, "Hey, what's up, officer?"
Is it in like specific areas, or we talk like you can only do that
city,
here?
It's like a New Orleans law.
Oh
like,
shit, that's crazy.
It's the most craziest thing ever.
So you just always just smell like ridiculous alcohol at all times? You just kind of smell in the air?
Out there, like there's alcohol. There's some alleys. It smells like piss. It's very similar to Philly.
Ooh, nice.
You
know. When's the last time you went?
I saw Dave Chappelle perform out there with Joe Rogan in October. It was like mid to late October. That was fucking cool, dude. Seeing Dave Chappelle out there. I don't really get goosebumps when I see people, but I was like, holy shit, this
dude's
is a
legend.
legend.
Dude's a legend. Like I'm jealous. I'm jealous you got to see him. Was it a lot of money?
Yeah, it was a little bit of money, but you know, I had some savings going towards that. And yeah, it was me and a friend. We went over there, had a great time. Actually got vaccinated just to go see Dave Chappelle, so it was definitely a reason. Just, you know what I mean? It was a strange time. It was a strange time. 2 months later, they lifted the ban everywhere, so we're like, fuck.
Yeah. When was that? When did you go?
October.
Or...
Yep. That was October 21.
Dude, I can't remember the last time I went to a venue, like at all.
You were about due for a concert, my friend.
Yeah, I want to go to a concert. I want to see something like a play, anything. I just want to see something being performed in front of me. I've not done that shit in like so long, man.
Yeah, on the IMAX movie doesn't count. It doesn't cut it.
Although I did go to the movie theaters over the weekend to see that god awful movie Thor.
It was not that bad.
That movie was the most like direct to DVD looking ass movie I've ever seen.
It wasn't a fantastic Marvel movie to Marvel standards, but I think it was a hilarious rom-com. That's what it really is. It's a rom-com with a hero movie masked in front of it because it was fucking funny. It was some parts that was funny.
There was some, but it wasn't like, if we're talking about the Thor movies, and like, let me be clear, I'm not really a superhero dude, right? But
yeah. I watch I love that shit. I watch all of them.
I fuck with Thor. Like, he's alright. He's goofy, whatever. Like, and I've watched almost all of his movies. I would say this is the lowest tier of the Thor movies. Like,
no, hell no.
I would say this is the lowest. It's just
Thor 1 was the most boring. Thor 1 was so fucking boring,
all right,
bro.
I'm not counting that. I'm not counting Thor. All right, okay, granted.
Your Thor lands in the desert. Oh, it's a beautiful woman, and I gotta go fight the Iron Giant. That's the whole movie.
Well, at what point did the movie turn into, yo, we're funny?
What?
Didn't Thor, wasn't there a cutoff where it's like Thor's like, all right, Thor's not serious anymore. He's just a goofball now.
Ever since Guardians happened, dude. Ever since Guardians happened, it's like, hold on, we can be funny in this universe. You know what I mean? And at the ending of the one Marvel movie where they kill fucking Thanos, you know, when you get Fat Thor, that's already funny.
Yeah,
fucking fat as hell.
Fat Thor's pretty good.
And then just seeing him with Chris Pratt, their chemistry together was fucking hilarious. So I wasn't mad at it. It's not exactly what I wanted from a Marvel movie, but as far as like I said, it's a good romantic comedy. I thought it was pretty cool. It was definitely a lot of like lovey-dovey elements in the movie.
I thought it was particularly weird when I was looking at the bad guy, and I'm like, is that fucking Christian Bale?
Christian fucking Bale. I feel like he killed that
was
role. He
so
was really cool.
weird. That it just weirded me out. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It had so much fucking potential though. Like, it had some moments in there where I was like, fuck, he looks creepy as fuck right now. That's so cool. And then he does this one cool move where he disappears in the floor one time, and then he never does it again. And I'm like, okay, all right, that's cool. That's what's up. You're just gonna let Thor bitch slap you around, but you're the god killer or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. He was a very boring, like, he was a very boring villain. He wasn't interesting enough. I mean, it
wasn't Christian Bale's fault.
Christian Bale
he did what he could.
Christian Bale can clearly act. That role was just not interesting. So yeah, I saw that movie, and we had the movie theaters almost completely to ourselves, and then we went to the arcade, and then we were about to just get on one of those like little motorcycle arcade things. And then the fucking, when you go to the screen, Windows error popped up saying that it ran out of memory, and that was awesome. And then we went to go was like, fuck it, let's go to the photo booth. Another Windows error popped up about a storage issue. It's just the arcade. It was kind of like trippy. It's like seeing behind the Matrix. Like, wait a minute.
Arcades don't get no love in the South, huh?
What is everything? Does Windows run all arcades now? I didn't know that.
Did you ever go to that Waffle House? I remember you were texting the group chat like, how's Waffle House, guys?
No, I haven't tried that. Maybe I should make that maybe I should take my camera and go alone to a Waffle House and then just live stream me eating waffles.
You absolutely just order. Honestly, one waffle is enough. It's a big fucking waffle. And it's probably like $3.
Is it always sketchy? I remember they were saying like in the chat that it's kind of a sketch fest, which I'm down for.
It's hit or miss, dude.
Is it the dive bar of like, breakfast joints?
if saying you're afraid to go to Waffle House is like saying you're afraid to go to a fucking McDonald's, you know what I mean? You never know what you're gonna get. Some McDonald's is gonna be like, holy shit, their ice cream machine works. The McFlurries here are awesome. The burgers taste like grass-fed cows. And then in other ones, you just get like, here's a little nasty ass burger packed into each other. Everything's broken. Can I talk to the manager? No, we don't have one today. Like,
I would try that.
What I mean?
I would legitimately. I think there's an app that I can just like live stream. I would actually go to for the sake of content. I would take a camera and just like, let's try waffles for the first time.
We could sprinkle a little bit of foodie content in the channel.
but not like just disgusting trash tier stuff. Not that Waffle House is disgusting, but just like I wanted to try only the low caliber stuff.
That's fine.
I went to, not that you asked, but I went to Virginia from Thursday through Sunday. Actually, I was in North Carolina and Nags Head, which is connected to Virginia, and it was just this. It's like a
Nags Head. That sounds like a fucking like my next quest in fucking The Witcher or some shit.
I ate a lot of seafood. I went to a beach that I really liked in Nags Head because it was quiet, and then I went to Virginia Beach, and I was like, I fucking hate crowds immediately. But I wasn't a sourpuss. I made it work. And I just ate a lot, and I just relaxed, and I just turned my work phone off for like 3-4 days. That was awesome.
So you said the beach was crowded. Was the actual beach nice, like the water and sand and stuff?
Well, when you consider that we're both Puerto Ricans, like nothing actually looks good to me anymore. Like, the beach is just a beach. Like, it doesn't really look great. But
compare it to Jersey's beach, though.
It's still better. It's still better.
Yeah,
it's still better. Jersey's beaches have a particular sludge to it that I'm not a fan of.
Yeah, you never know what you're gonna step into out there.
I'm convinced Kojima went to Atlantic City and was like, all right, this is what Death Stranding is going to be about.
This is the next setting for my next game.
It's really bad. I don't think we're exaggerating either, because I think we spent you've definitely been to Atlantic City more than I have, and the water always looks gross. It always looks nasty.
It's not just Atlantic City, dude. It's the whole fucking coast, seaside, Wildwood, and then don't get me started with Wildwood. It's like fucking 10 miles.
I haven't even heard that name in
ages.
There's
so much fucking sand. It's like, I just want to get to the water already. It's like you have to commit like a 5-minute hike just to get to the water. Like, why is there so much fucking sand here?
I'm curious about something, and I don't know if you want to answer this in a recording. Did you Did you get that Prime shit situated?
Oh yeah. My order came in. Everything's all good.
Hell yeah. This isn't shady at all. Good.
I'm actually expecting the last of my order. I had like a bulk order. I got some detergents, some laundry detergent coming in.
Exciting.
Yeah, you gotta love the $3 $3 off of laundry detergent. It's essential.
I guess besides that, I actually wanted to talk about the Steam Deck for a bit. I've had it for when did my order come in? Like in April? I think my order came in April. I've had it for like 2 months. April, May, like 2 months.
Do you have it at is it at arm's reach? You have it around you?
Yeah.
Let me see that bad boy.
So this is the this is the Steam Deck here. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it is a 7-inch screen. Let's see what's been. Oh, there you go. I see your face here. I've been playing the game that you say you can't play anymore. I've been playing Persona. I've been playing this. So I've always wanted Persona to be portable. Now they're actually doing that with the Persona collection that they're releasing for the Switch. But I'll be honest, like, I just don't play this anymore. I just don't play this anymore.
Shots fired. It's a thing. It's a relic of the past.
This thing, I only own this because Splatoon 3 is right around the corner, and this is the only thing that's gonna let me play with people online because I love Splatoon. But like, other than that, this plays everything this plays like way better, like extreme, like almost everything better. And there's like, I remember when this thing first came out, like outlets would say like, well, the battery life on the Steam Deck is like pretty bad, and it's like, no, it's not. Like, at worst, say you're playing like Death Stranding, which is like a pretty intensive game, or like God of War. One, you're playing those games at like 60 frames per second. That's fucking crazy.
That is pretty insane.
Two, it lasts like 2.5 to 3 hours for a game that intensive. The Switch can't even fucking do that. The Switch lasts about 2.5 hours on like Breath of the Wild, which is probably the most intensive game you can play on there. But with the Steam Deck, you have like the option to customize. So I can literally take my screen refresh rate, and I could say, instead of the screen refresh rate being 60 hertz, I'm going to put it to 40 hertz, which means the game's only running at 40 frames per second, which, believe it or not, is like way smoother than you think it sounds. It's like ridiculous. And so the actual console itself is doing less work to output those frames, which saves you battery life, and that 2.5 hours suddenly turns into 3.5 hours, which the Switch, you don't even have those options. So it's just like,
and I imagine like the actual speaker on it is louder than the Switch 2, right?
I would say the only thing is that the Switch's OLED screen it's an OLED, so it looks beautiful. Like the Switch's OLED screen looks really good. Doesn't
the Stream Deck have a OLED option?
No, they have like a, you know when you get a screen protector and they have like that glare on it.
Oh, so it's like a non-glare option.
The first two models, the 64 gigabyte and the 256 gigabyte, and that's the one that I have, the 256. That one is non-glare. I mean, non-gloss.
Okay.
And then the 512 gigabyte option, the most expensive, that one has a glossy texture on top. I do not like glossy shit on my screen. Like, I want that to be an option. If I want to add it, I'll add it, but I don't want that to be the forced thing, so I don't like that. But it's just not an OLED screen. But honestly, unless I'm like sitting there and I have both of them on, that's not something I'm thinking about when I'm playing the game. I'm just playing the game. And it's like, I don't think it's ever gonna do Switch numbers because Nintendo's like the Disney of video games. It's like they're always gonna sell. But
yeah, you can't do anything about that.
if you like, all right, I feel like you should always own a Nintendo console because there's always gonna be one thing you're gonna want to play. At minimum, there's always gonna be one Nintendo thing that you're gonna fucking kick yourself in the ass that you don't have the console for because you want to play it. Maybe not for you because I remember you telling me like you're kind of done with that shit.
Yeah, 100%,
but
99%.
There's still like a couple games that like if a new Zelda game comes out, I want to play it, and if a new Splatoon game comes out, I want to play it. So I have it for that. But like literally everything else, the Steam Deck can handle. Like, and the library's bigger.
Yeah, it's insane.
And I won't even get into the customization aspect, but it's, I mean, man, you could legally emulate the games that you own through the Steam Deck. Just fine. Like I played PS3. I played Shadow of the Colossus, the PS2 version. I played Metal Gear Solid 4. I tested a couple stuff out on the PS3 emulation on the Steam Deck, and that shit was like great. I played fucking Twilight Princess, the GameCube. Like everything works. So it's just an incredible device, and it's weird seeing like those games that are like pretty high fidelity run on something like that's actually not that big. So like,
does the Steam Deck have a little jingle when you turn it on, when you turn the console on for the first time?
I think it might. I don't want to turn it off because I'm in the middle of a.
Oh man, it's all good.
I don't want to turn it off. I haven't saved yet, but yeah, it does. It does. It's a very Steam ass noise. Let me try to replicate it. That's probably not a good. Nope. That's probably no.
Sound like a fucking retarded dinosaur a little bit.
It's if it popped up, would you pre-order it? Like, would you
mean if it popped up?
Like, if you had the option to buy one, I guess, would you buy it? Or is that not really like your?
It's not something that I need. Something that I definitely have my eyes on. But for traveling and stuff, like I could definitely see myself with one on a flight. You know what I mean? That turns like a 6-hour flight. Probably feels, just goes by like that because you got your fucking favorite game right there.
Yep.
As long as you have somewhere to charge your Steam Deck on the flight, with most planes do now.
Yeah, if you travel
flying,
for sure.
Spirit, God bless your heart.
I'm going back. I'm actually going back to Virginia for another work thing. And tomorrow Stray comes out. And
is that tomorrow? Holy shit!
Yeah, we'll talk about that soon. But Stray is coming out. The cat where you play as a game. I mean, the cat where you play as a game. The game where you play as a cat. The game where you play as a cat. It's like an action puzzle game. But in any case, I'm playing that on the Steam Deck because I will be traveling, and it came out for PC.
Nice.
If I'm not mistaken, is that game a PS Plus game? Like, can you just get that with PS Plus? I should probably Google that.
Yes. So what I'm hearing, you know how they have the whole new PlayStation subscription service, PS Essentials and all that. I hear that on the basic tier you won't get it, but I think there's like 3 tiers. If you go on the second tier, you'll be able to get access to Stray.
Okay.
And then I also heard that once you buy the game, like once you go to try to buy the game on PSN, it'll prompt you like, hey, by the way, this game is available to you on our Essential Plus streaming service. Would you like to just subscribe and have access to all these other titles?
Does that entice you at all?
I mean, honestly, I haven't really played my fucking PS5 in a long time. I've recently started playing it to get, in preparations to this podcast. Well, I'll talk about that in a second. But it's been PC all day for me. You know what I mean? Everything's over here.
That is a crazy ass transition when I think about exactly where you came from in the gaming space, because you were just
I'm a Sony head. Everybody knows I'm a Sony head. Mm-hmm. I'm a Sony guy. I still love PlayStation. Don't get me wrong. It's just like PS5 has gone off to a very successful but awkward launch. I would say it's been a weird year and a half. It's been about a year and a half, right?
It's just a matter. It's just a matter of the library when you think about it. Like it's just
100% because the console itself is amazing. Controller. Have you had a chance to? Yeah, I mean, you said that your girl has a PlayStation 5, right?
I got one for Christmas.
Did you play the Astrobot game?
Mm-hmm.
That game is that's still one of the coolest experiences. Still
awesome.
To this day,
that game's awesome.
That's a very fucked up thing that to this day it's still one of the coolest things that came out on day one.
Here's a take that's not so hot. That's the only game in this. I want to say that's probably the only game that we'll see that fully takes advantage of all those features. Like I don't think any other game is really gonna, unless it's a first party title.
Exactly.
You'll still get the Hey, if you're playing Last of Us 3 or something, or you'll feel the footsteps in your controller. Like you'll get that stuff, but I don't think you'll get.
A lot of shooters are implementing it. Like Call of Duty implemented it. It felt nice. You know what I mean? Like the vibration of each bullet. You'll feel like sometimes if your gun is jammed, your button will just whoa, why is this hard to press all of a sudden? It's pretty cool.
Well, that's exciting. Like at least they tried something. It's just when the industry isn't on the same page, I mean, not even not even Nintendo can pull that off, and you know they're like they're like the fucking toy house of the gaming industry. Like they'll come up with
Yeah.
a new gimmick, and even they will drop their own new gimmick on the same
Well,
console in like 2 years.
Switch tried it with the, what do they call it? Rumble HD or some shit.
Right? Remember the one game that did that?
Yeah.
1-2
The fucking
switch.
the marble box game. It
Feel
was
the
like, oh,
balls
guess
in
what?
the box.
Nah, that was incredible.
It
It was
was.
like, wow, this really feels like I'm holding a box, but this is not fun.
That's cool. One
Yeah.
game, no, a mini game in a game used that feature, and like nobody else really like used it. And then and then like the rumble on the Switch, when we're not talking about feel the balls in the box, feels like trash. It actually feels bad. Like,
Yeah.
I put like 300 hours into Splatoon, so I'm always feeling the rumble on that shit, and like it just doesn't feel good. Oh,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
could it's like they only made that shit so you can feel balls in a box.
How, how
That's the only reason.
that's a wild statement.
I'm just-
Uh,
that's the only proof of concept they have.
how is the actual Rumble in the Steam Deck? Or
It's
is there have no Rumble?
I can't even remember anymore. Hold on. Does Steam Deck? I really can't. I don't think about that. The Steam Deck have Rumble? Is it Steam Deck is not being offered?
See,
It has
but
haptic feedback, but not full vibration motors. Okay, so like when I'm like using the mouse pads,
yeah.
these things here, if I need to use them, which I don't really use them too much, but if I need to use them, you can feel like a track. You can feel like a sort of like a you have a PS5 controller, like sort of resistance, basically.
Yeah, like it had like a little vibrating motor into it, like bloop, bloop, bloop,
Yeah,
bloop.
which is cool, but like not the entire. It doesn't have like a rumble thing, which I guess I really don't think about too much.
Yeah, that's
Um,
cool.
but yeah, I mean, yeah, the fucking Nintendo. But yeah, it's like gimmicky stuff. Hardware gimmick stuff is super cool. I think the Sony PlayStation controller is like super cool. I don't like that I've heard that it does have drift issues, and I've seen a lot of people replace their PS5
I'm going
controllers.
through drift issues right now. Granted, I've had that controller since launch, and I've abused the fuck out of that controller like crazy. I put like 100 hours into Halo into that controller on PC.
Right.
It's the same the same controller I use for Elden Ring on PC. I'm playing more on my fucking
Or you
with
cut.
my PS5 controller than I am PS5, which is pretty fucking sad.
I mean, you're still playing. Like, well, if anything, for me, that's you're just evolving. In my opinion, now the consoles don't even hold a candle to PC gaming. In my personal opinion. But
It's an interesting time to be alive, man.
The thing is, like, you say that, and I remember. I mean, we would fuck up our controllers back in the day. They'd still last forever, like the 360 and PS3 controllers. So it just feels weird.
Specifically, the 6-axis on the PS3, that controller was so fucking light. Like it was.
That shit felt. I didn't like how light it was. If I remember,
I didn't like
that.
how light it was either, but it was fucking indestructible. It didn't make no sense.
That shit lasted for a long fucking time. It to the point where the little fucking rubbers peeled off. I remember that shit.
Gotta love it.
So I want to talk about. I've been telling you to shut up every time you're about to talk about it because I wanted you to talk about it here.
Yeah.
I just want you to lay it on me, man. How do you feel about the Horizon game, the Forbidden West, which is the most generic? Just
the title.
Horizon. Like we could just make that up right now, right? Like, let's
First
pick.
of all, it's kind of confusing because you have Forza Horizon 2. So
Yeah.
it's like, when you say like, yo, bro, you playing Horizon?
I don't.
I'm saying it might
Which
be
one?
different meanings. You know
Which
what
one
I'm
are we
saying? Like,
talking about?
okay, yeah. Are we getting the Hot Wheels update, or are we trying to kill some dinosaurs? Like,
Are we gonna race some dinosaurs? Because that I'm down for.
that would actually be fucking cool. Where do I start? I feel like to really break this down, to really understand. So, okay, I recently bought a Horizon Forbidden West about a week ago. About a day after we discussed starting this podcast, which was about a week ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, if whatever content, let's play something. But I feel like to really understand my viewpoint, we have to take a small little deep dive at Guerrilla Games, right? Like this is not a shot at Guerrilla Games because Guerrilla Games is a fantastic developer. But do you not feel like Guerrilla Games is just like they're known for the Killzone series. Killzone, I feel like was always when you talk about shooters, they're definitely like low in the conversation list. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The reason being is not that they were bad games, but it's like almost like if they felt like a diet version. Probably not diet.
I think
That's a bad
would
word, but maybe like sugar free. You know, like a
would you
sugar
say
free
like
shooter.
would you say like they were B tier? I feel I can confidently say they were like B tier in that genre.
Yeah, but I would say for sure. But what it's not that it's a bad game, but something about the gameplay just felt. You know, what I mean, you got Halo where it feels so fucking good, buttery smooth, and you have Call of Duty. It's an excellent feeling shooter. You know what I mean? Battlefield, they were very super heavy on the realism. Killzone always had this I don't know, this sluggishness that carried around with the characters, but it was very like we're gonna do things our way, even though everybody's like saying, hey, maybe we can get our games to play a little different in the future moving forward. No, they just did things their way. Kind of respect them for that. But Guerrilla Games was always one to just avoid the masses, and we're gonna do what we're gonna do, and you're gonna eat that up.
Well, it sounds like they tried to capture their own audience within a very popular genre, and they never succeeded in trying in doing that.
But I do want to shout out their like VFX team. Like the visuals on all their games have always been amazing, like breathtaking. Like holy shit!
Which, by the way, powers Kojima's video game, Death Stranding. That same engine that does Horizon powers that. So
that's something to say about their team. If only they put the same kind of work into their gameplay. I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I feel like the first Horizon, was a better game, in my opinion. So far, I've only put in about 12 hours into this game. I'm pretty deep into it, without like any spoils or anything. I'm not trying to spoil the game because I'm still getting into it. We'll probably have like a spoiler discussion in the future.
You could talk around, right? Like what the problems are without really.
So what I'm going through right now is a lot of just implementation, a lot of design choices, right? I'm going through these areas, right? They called cauldrons, and it like the world is beautiful, but underground they have these cauldrons where you gotta explore, and almost like a puzzle like scenario. You got some bad guys down there, some robots, and these are like robot production facilities. So these are where the machines come from. So you go in there, you fight a boss at the end, you learn how to control some robots. That's you know what I mean. There's not much to it. However, compared to like the beautiful world outside, these cauldrons are all metal and fucking like they call them like ancient times, but this is the timeline in this game is all screwy. So it's like super futuristic down there, but very like machine world looking. And I dare say that a lot of it looks repetitive and very similar. And you know what I mean? Sometimes I'll just be down there like, okay, my map says to go this way, but I feel like I've been here before.
Right.
Or this looks exactly like that other door over there. Shit just starts looking so goddamn repetitive. And you know what I mean? I feel like I didn't really respect my time in a way where it was like holding my hand a little bit.
Well, I heard that like, and again, not having played the game, that Alloy just won't shut the hell up half the time. That she's like always commenting on stuff.
I mean, she's cool. She's cool. But there are moments where I'm like climbing a ledge and you have to drop down to this safety area underneath of you. You have to perfectly time it. But she'll have a cue like, oh, I guess I gotta let go now. Now's a good time to drop. And I'm like, I could totally see that I should probably let go here, but thanks for the that heads up. And the camera angle just perfectly portions like right on top of you, so you can be like, okay, I should let go right now. It was just a little weird.
Yeah,
like, this shit makes you feel like, because it's not an easy game.
Does it feel like feel like a Ubisoft game?
It's not an easy game like that. It holds your hand, but there's just certain things when you're like climbing, for example, the climbing in this game. It's god awful. I'm not fucking with it at all. Like I feel like, not to compare it to like Uncharted or anything, but Uncharted has some buttery fucking climbing. You know what I mean? It's just straight to the point, get to where you got to go. They make climbing so complicated in this game. It's
like how?
just tedious. You're trying to grab a certain ledge, and then you got to jump to this other ledge, and you see where you got to go, but she does these little like these motions where you know what I mean. You're trying to
Yeah.
like, okay, I just want to jump, but she keeps going over here, and then nope, you got to shift all the way to the side, and now you can jump there. I'm like, okay, well I could have just hit like left on the analog and jump. Um, it's just fucking annoying, dude.
You
They
sound defeated right now.
it's I don't do it justice because I haven't put enough hours into it. But
Well, 12 hours is enough of a time, in my opinion, to be like, there's some stuff here I don't like. I mean, 12
it's
hours is half a day.
it, it, it doesn't make sense because like the first game definitely had climbing, but this one is like you can climb almost anywhere now. So they really made a big point of that because
Oh, can you like climb
everybody
on?
wants to climb. Ever since Breath of the Wild, everybody wants to have climbing in their games now. You know what I mean?
Can you like just go up against a ledge that doesn't have a climbing thing and she could just still climb it? Is it like Breath of the Wild like that?
It's like 85% of ledges. Like not everything, but there's plenty that you can climb. But I'm like, fuck, for such a major feature, you could have polished it a little more. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, like I feel like that could have been way better. Just resources feel a little mismanaged, like undermanaged, because I'm doing side quests and I'm doing main quests side by side, and they have these metal shards, which are like the currency of the game, but it's also the currency that you trade, and also the currency you need to upgrade your weapons, and the currency you need to create your actual fucking arrows and stuff. And if you don't have any metal shards, you can't fucking shoot anything. And all you can do is melee attack, and you don't want to fucking always melee attack in this game. You know what I mean? And you guys might think I'm crazy that I'm running out of metal shards. You know, you got to create a lot of fucking, ammo in this game and buy cool stuff. But it's like this game is like, no, you can't have both. You gotta do a whole bunch of side practice and go out there and grind and kill a bunch of shit first. I'm like, I don't got time for that shit, man. I'm just trying to progress my campaign.
Oh
Is
boy.
that too much to ask? You know what I mean?
This you are not. Yeah, you are convincing me that I mean, I did not like Horizon. From the little bit that I played, because it just reminded me. It reminded me of every open world Ubisoft game. Here's a tower, or the equivalent of a tower. If you go here, you unlock more stuff. Here's 1,000 icons, resources. There's crafting. I don't know. It's third person. Here's a bow. Like, and then the hook being the dinosaurs, and then the weird story, right? Of like how.
Like I'll give them credit because there is a lot more diversity this time around with the creatures.
Yeah.
Because you have like desert areas now. You have more Arctic areas now. So like you'll have like a polar bear, for example, or like what else is new? Like they got some like new dinosaur looking things. There's a fucking elephant now that's kicking my ass currently. So it's cool. Like there's a lot of like stuff that you gotta.
But is it interesting? I think that's the main thing that I'm trying to drag out of you. Like, are you battling? Like, are you just playing the game because it looks pretty and you know how to play an open world game, or is it like actually interesting?
It's the tiny stuff that make the game frustrating for me. That like I said, like the currency that you have to use also to upgrade your weapons and your arrows. That I find myself running out of that all the time, so I have to go grind my ass off some more. So I'm like, okay, this takes me away from the fun elements of the game. I'm like, fuck, that's annoying. And to do that, sometimes you got to climb to high places, and I'm like, fuck, I hate climbing. And then they have this mechanic, this cool little upgrade you get pretty early on. It's like this glider, right? So you hold square to use this glider, right? But when you're like jumping from ledge to ledge,
Breath of the Wild glider. Did they have that in the first one?
No, this is brand new.
Okay.
So get this mechanic flaw, right? This drives me nuts. You hold square to glide, but you also press square to drop from a ledge. So you can see where that can be kind of like, hold on, I'm gonna fuck up a couple times.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to make this jump. I'm like, I don't think I can make this jump. So as I'm in the air, I hold square, and mind you, it's like a little lag, like not lag, but she doesn't instantly whip that shit out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's like, you hold square, and the mechanic starts, and then you're floating. Sometimes you just jump, and I hold square, and like the animation gets interrupted because you grab the ledge, and as I'm holding square, I'll drop from the and then either I just die or now I gotta fucking start from the ground all over again to reach the high fucking point that I was at. I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? It's dumb shit.
Well, Swell, it doesn't sound like you're having a great time.
I'm not having a great time, but I am compelled to complete the game. I want to see the ending because I want to know if I have to put this game on my shit list or not. Because so far, I'm not having a terrible experience. Besides all the nuisance, it's small things. You know what I mean? They're very small things. It has really cool moments, like kill a big giant robot. It's a satisfying fucking feeling. You're like, fuck yeah, fuck you, you stupid big ass fucking machine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It feels really good, but those moments are so far between. The open world is huge. They do that right. Like it's not like holy shit huge, but it's a good size. Like I feel like it's a respectful size. What they do very well is the facial animations. They're a little scary. Like my roommate actually walked in on me playing the game. He's like, "Holy shit, I feel like I know that." I'm like, "Oh no, these are all made up characters." I'm thinking, damn, I wonder where they got these facial scans from.
So the facial animations are they on par with like Last of Us?
Better, I would dare say. Like these facial animations look like real fucking people you would see like in a movie. Like he's walking Walmart and see your faces. This is it. You know what I mean? They do like hair very well. Like a lot of games, they don't specifically like black people hair.
Yeah,
good. They give them like 2 haircuts in every game.
Yeah, shitty box braids and then or shitty regular braids. That's it.
Or like a quick little fro. You know what I mean? Like this one, they do like dreaded hair, very good. It's realistic. Like kind of like super realistic. It's just insane. I'm playing it on my 4K Samsung. It's beautiful.
Nice.
But yeah, I'll be playing some more of it. Once I beat it, I'll to see if it makes my shit list or if it actually makes a surprise turn, which is not impossible.
Okay. I mean, I'm not convinced that you'll hit something vastly different. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe halfway through that, you're like, I have a fucking dolphin made of
the one thing that can make up
or some like, shit. I don't know.
If I get like a cool ass piece of gear, there's like, holy shit, this changes gameplay a little bit now. Like now I've unlocked the thing. I needed this thing.
Maybe there's something. Maybe
there might not be a thing.
I don't think there's a thing. But... I'm leaning on. There's probably not a thing. That game looks like an open world tower game to me. Like here's a skill tree, and go. Like it doesn't. For me, that game inherently looks uninteresting because it's not doing anything different other than like, yo, we're the only one with robot dinosaurs, so you should play this. Yeah. It's like probably the only thing that I can say about that game.
You're not wrong.
That looks different. Not every game has to be different, but there's a lot of examples of that kind of game better. So I just don't care about it. Like it's fuck it, whatever. But I guess let me know if that turned around for you.
No, I definitely will.
I've been playing a ton of old stuff, really. Well, I played. I briefly played Neon White. If you've heard of that game yet,
I've not heard of Neon White.
Neon White is a. How do I describe this? A speed-running action platformer that is based on. You get a little level. You got to get from point A to point B.
Sounds like Sonic.
Probably better. You get from point A to point B, and throughout this level, as you're going through it, you got to before you get to the end, make sure that you eliminate all the enemies. It won't let you succeed the end of the level until you eliminate all the enemies. And 2, there are card abilities that are they're basically just abilities. They look like cards, but they're just abilities that are littered throughout the level, and each of them is a weapon. So, for example, I'm going through a level, I pick up a card that looks like a pistol, and I can shoot an enemy to kill him. If I don't have that card, I can't really do much, right? I'm just platforming.
Is it a random? It's always a random card.
It's very specific. It's like it's because it's meant for it's meant for you to like try to speed run, so that try to get the best times within a predictable level.
Gotcha.
And each card that you pick up or each weapon that you pick up not only does it have some sort of a firing mode, right? So it could be a sniper or a machine gun or a pistol. It has a secondary ability, and they always have to do a platforming. So like the handgun gives you an additional jump, which might help you in your speed run. So you got to decide like how to best utilize this ability. Don't use all the ammo because you might need that extra jump to get here faster. I believe the sniper rifle has a literal dash, so you can get to places that you might not be able to get to otherwise. Stuff like that. It's actually I can say that's a game that I can say I have not seen something like that before. That game plays very uniquely. Like I just straight up have not seen a game play like that.
Is that on Steam only?
It's on Steam and Switch. I would never play that. I would not recommend playing that game on the Switch. I hear it's okay on the Switch, but it's just play it on PC. The story might be hit or miss for some folk. It's extremely anime, and it's a game that like tries to hone in on the horniness. It's like everyone's like either buff or busty or very sexy, and like they're always horny for each other. So that is. Everyone's just like the dialogue conversation is always flirtatious and like always.
How's the music? Is it like some fast paced like?
Well, the music actually it comes from this band that I actually follow. This band called Wolf Girl. They do like, I would say like almost like psychedelic vaporwave drum and bass. It sounds cool. Like the game actually does have a cool soundtrack. That's one of the first games I've seen that actually has a specific artist credited for the entire soundtrack, like an artist that isn't in the video games industry. He's just an artist that happened to make a soundtrack for a video game thing. You should check it out. I think it's pretty cool.
Sounds pretty sweet.
So you have those platforming levels, you got a cool ass soundtrack, and then housing all of that is basically an anime visual novel, which is what I mean by I don't know if everyone will be okay with the story in this game, because it can get a little bit obnoxious if you're not into the shit. Like, you go through each level, the levels have a replayability, because if you beat a level, then you get this option to then replay the level to get a gift, and you then give that gift to someone that you're trying to become better friends with for the storyline, shit like that. Like, it's very anime as far as like the story is concerned. I honestly fell off of it heavy after the game lost my interest after chapter 4. I just kind of
getting a little repetitive.
Yeah, I just kind of was like, well, okay, like I see what this is. This is cool as shit. I have other things I'd rather be playing, but like this is really cool. Some people are obsessed with that game right now. If me and you were playing that game, even though it's not multiplayer, you can check out leaderboards. Yeah. And so when you're doing a game, it'll be like you beat this level for the first time and you won't see it. It'll just, you'll only see the leaderboard after you beat it, and it's like, you did good, but whole swell's 5 seconds faster. And so it has that hook where it's like, fuck you, I want to fucking fuck that. Like,
that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
So I had a little group chat with a couple cousins who were playing it, and then whenever I beat them, I screenshot it and I just throw a little meme gif on there, and that's fun. I think the game is actually clever. I just, I got tired of it. But I think it's worth a purchase. It's just not for everybody. Cool. What else have I been playing? I'm done talking about Cyberpunk. I'm still playing Cyberpunk. I'm not talking about Cyberpunk anymore.
That's insane.
I actually got to the part where it's the point of no return, and then I was like, but I'm not done all the side missions, and I really don't want to end it right now. Like I want to do all the side missions before I finish off the game entirely.
That's where I left off. I actually left off there and never completed the final mission.
That's what happened to me on my first playthrough. But yeah, I'm there. I still think that game is highly underrated. But I also think that studio did the damage to themselves, which we'll talk about a little later. And then I've been playing Persona 4 as my sort of like relax. I'm done with life. I just want to read and like go to school, maybe take some courses. I want to go join the basketball team so I can increase my Persona influence points.
God bless you.
I fucking love that game. That's what I've been playing. I haven't played it. I'm excited to play Stray. I don't know if they'll do a midnight release, but I'm excited to play that. But those are the.
I'm sure as soon as it hits 12, it'll be available. I mean, if you're gonna be up there in 12, like I can't wait to play as a cat.
I mean, what time are you going to sleep nowadays? Because I'll be hitting at 3 a.m. easy. Like, I don't.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah,
even really hard for me to hit anymore.
at least one.
So I out of if it's on, I will play it. Fuck it, I'll play the cat game. All right. Do you?
I gotta give a quick shout out real quick to one thing that I am enjoying a lot about Horizon. Actually, have this mini game Horizon. I completely forgot to talk about it. It's called Machine Strike, and it's like in every settlement they have this one person in there that challenges you, like, "Hey, player, do you want to challenge me in a game of Machine Strike?" It's such a cheesy fucking name, but it's like a tactical board game.
What?
You know what I mean? it's a game within the game, and they put so much like detail and rules, and like you can collect pieces in this board game.
I'm looking
And
at it right now.
as you like complete with people and you fuck them up, you earn more pieces, and you get, you know what I'm saying, like better and better pieces that you could use for like future
It
players.
looks like
It's very tactical.
it looks like a top down like real time strategy, or like a top down tactics game like Final Fantasy.
They got
Tactics.
like elements of chess are in it, elements of Yu-Gi-Oh are in it.
That's awesome.
It even feels like elements of Inscription. Remember the card game Inscription?
Of course, that was my game of the year last year.
It was a really good game. They even have elements of that. It's just similar to how your attack and your defense is very like straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
But I found myself becoming like a little micro obsession in this game. Like every time I get to a new settlement, I'm like, fuck my gear. Fuck the mission. Where is the next Machine Strike guy? I gotta play some Machine Strike. Like this is a good
Machine Strike.
Yeah, dude. Give me more Machine Strike.
All
Like,
right.
as far as a game within the game, they did it right. I didn't fuck with the Witcher's game, whatever that was.
Gwent. They made their own iOS. I think it was an iOS app and a PC app for Gwent.
I felt like Gwent was boring as fuck.
You guys just don't know, man. You got to go back to Kotar and play some Bazak. All right. Talk to me when we're playing Bazak together.
Hey man, KOTOR's coming out soon, so it's definitely gonna be
fucking back. Sony, bro. Sony. I completely forgot about that. I 100% forgot that they were just like, yeah, Xbox users, you're not getting KOTOR. That's wild.
Sony's been on some shit.
That started on Xbox. I mean, you know what? It's not like Microsoft isn't being as dirty about the whole thing. So like, whatever. There's no good guys here. But Jesus,
Sony's just nabbing all their precious shit from them. I mean, do you want to talk about like the Bungie acquisition too?
Yeah, that's in there. That's in there. Yeah,
because like fuck, like now the guys that made Halo are now working for Sony.
That's weird.
Like, what? How did this happen? Somebody in Xbox, like somebody fucked up. You know, at some point. I'm not saying it's the people now,
there's a bald dude on a mountain. Like, when that happened, he's like, "Okay, I think the balance is off. Something's happening."
It's like you take like precious Sony IP. Like what's a like Crash? Well, I mean, Crash is everywhere now, but let's say God of War. Somehow you see like Santa Monica is like absorbed into Microsoft. It's like, how the fuck did that happen? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's. I mean, like, and like Sony kind of like lucked out in a lot of ways, because like when you think about Microsoft, it's been a while now since they announced like, here's the we're just gonna buy video games because we don't have any, so we're just gonna buy them. We're gonna buy Bethesda and Activision, which is like, and Blizzard, which is huge. That's like a big ass catalog, and it will give them fruits later. But in the meantime, like, that's a really long process. It's just so weird to see, like, okay, Ghostwire Tokyo, okay, what's that fucking game that I can't remember now? Yeah, but it was a shooter, came out PS5 exclusive. You could go back in time. It's a loop game.
Deathloop, yeah.
A game that I actually dislike more every month. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, actually, I did not like that game.
I didn't fuck with Deathloop at all. That was probably on my list of like biggest regrets purchased type game.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's because we're so starved for like AAA games, and whenever I see one, I'm like, well, I gotta buy it because there's nothing else. Like, I gotta try something. Those games were PS5 exclusives. I mean, they came out on PC, but like, those are Microsoft Studios now. That shit's weird. It just comes off. Or remember, hey, MLB, the game developed by Sony, is coming out on Game Pass day one. That shit's weird. It's just weird. Like, what is happening? Nothing makes sense.
It's funny as hell. My friend Francisco used to love MLB, and literally he was an Xbox guy, right? And he only bought a PlayStation to play
That's
MLB.
amazing.
And the year that he finally bought the PlayStation, it's like, oh, we're in Game Pass now for everybody. He's like, fuck, like I just bought a PlayStation.
That's fucking awesome. That's fucking.
So I know
great.
that definitely happened to a couple people out there.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. Well, let's go on a quick intermission here. We'll take a quick 5, and then we'll go back and talk about the news. Video games. That's what we're here to talk about. And we got some news. Some of it old, some of it horrifying, some of it pretty good. I want to just. Okay, so let me just make sure for historical accuracy here. Okay, so on the 8th of July, on a serious note, Shinzo Abe, the former prime minister of Japan and president of the Liberal Democratic Party from 06 to 07, and again from 12 to 20, he was unfortunately victim of assassination. We are not experts whatsoever on the political affairs of Japan. My condolences to the people of Japan. That truly is horrible, especially when you think about the fact that gun violence, based on this BBC article that I had read, accounts to about less than 10 deaths a year in Japan, which is a far cry from what we have here and from what many other countries have. So gun control is heavily regulated in Japan, and gun violence is unheard of. So the fact that this happened to begin with, one, it's always a shock to have a leader, a sort of a figurehead for a first world country or developed country to sort of be assassinated in this manner. But two, again, with the lack of availability of weapons, it's very shocking. So, and then we get on to what is like honestly deplorable journalism. There was now again, just for the lack for the sake of accuracy, sorry, I'm going to go to the BBC article again. Quote, a legendary video game developer has threatened to sue over hoax posts portraying him as Shinzo Abe's killer. So for the TLDR, because the internet is an awful place, 4chan users used a photo of Kojima and falsely labeled him as the left-wing extremist that was the cause of Abe's death. And with no real research whatsoever, a news publication, which I'm trying to find, a French news publication, basically saw that information on Twitter and was like, "Oh, that's the killer," and then called Hideo Kojima the basically the person who murdered the
assassin,
Japan's prime minister, which is like ridiculous, awful journalism. And also exactly what I expect from today's like Twitter focused like news frenzy. Not even shocking that journalism is that bad.
Fucking nuts.
It's ridiculous. Like the main story, man kills president. You can't even get the man right. Like you come on, bro. Like that's pretty awful. In response to that, Kojima Productions and Hideo Kojima himself have stated that they will. Kojima Productions strongly condemns the spread of fake news and rumors that convey false information. We do not tolerate such libel and will consider taking legal action in some cases.
They should.
Do I think they will? I have no idea. I personally, yeah, I think that when it's something that serious, just like even if it costs you money, it's just good to keep journalists and really the media as honest as possible and give them some consequences for doing that, because that's pretty fucking terrible. That's awful journalism that can harm. The wrong person sees the wrong information and they'll take actions based on false news. So it's just, it's just fucking good practice to fact check your shit before you fucking start posting things about people.
Good for Kojima Productions for standing their ground and like just threatening anybody else in the future. Like, if you guys want to fuck with us and mention our name and some fake news again, we're gonna sue y'all.
So that was a horrible start to the news, but I just kind of wanted to get that over with. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous news.
Wild. But like you said, it's not even like
it's
not surprising no more.
The world has turned into a Watch Dogs video game. That's what I honestly like. That's just what it feels like. Here's one a lot less important than that one. Have you ever seen the Matrix Awakens Unreal Engine 5 demo?
Yeah. I heard a lot about it when it came out. Just like going side by side of like the god awful Matrix movie.
Yeah,
the whole demo was probably better than the whole movie.
So that demo was it showed off UE5's sort of, I think it was called Lumen. I might be mistaken there. I'm not super technical with that, but they basically a lighting and rendering technique that, like, if you play the demo, like legitimately looks next gen. Like that actually looks like next gen stuff.
It's beautiful.
But when you see it and then you're playing the demo, you're like, oh, this is running at 30. When do we start getting to the point that we're like, all right, like, well, we want to make the visual jump. I know we all like 60. We're going to 30 now because we need to put all those frames towards rendering. I'm not a fan of that. I like my 60, which is why I'm like, again, fucking PC race. Like, fuck that, because like at least you can buy your way out of that problem.
I'm a fan of when games offer like a balanced mode when it's like a little bit of both.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think we've gotten better at it as an industry. We've gotten better at offering choices. So I truly hope it doesn't go away. But the Matrix Awakens demo was beautiful, but also kind of scared me. In any case, they are removing that July. Well, they already removed it on July 9th, so you can no longer even re-download it. This joins the likes of like PT. When PT got removed, and something tells me that they both got removed for similar reasons. I think that there might have been
so?
Well, in PT, and this is just an assumption here, right? It's just speculation. But like PT got removed not only because they were just no longer making Silent Hills and Konami turned into whatever the fuck they are now, but
yeah,
they had Norman Reedus's face in PT and they no longer had a contract with Norman Reedus. So they were like, well, we're just going to delist that so we don't have to keep up the contracts to put his face in a video game.
I can see that.
And so they had Keanu Reeves in Matrix Awakens UE5 demo. My immediate thought is like, maybe that was a limited time deal. I don't know.
Probably like a short term license or some shit.
Yeah,
just weird. Anyway, why they would agree to that in the first place, but whatever.
Yeah. I guess for the purposes of like, here's a demo showing you our future technology, it was effective. Everybody talked about it for a while.
Was that exclusive to PS5 or was that in other systems too?
No. Well, the fascinating thing about that is that it was on PS5, it was on Xbox Series X, and it was also on Xbox Series S, proving that their tech still works even on the lower end platforms, which is interesting.
Cool. So July 9th, it was knocked from all of the sources.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Pretty much all of it. If you or anybody were inclined to check out some of the technology backing UE5, Digital Foundry has a fantastic video on it that just covers every single stuff that I am way too dumb to talk about, that they are very intelligent on. They can like legitimately explain to you why you should be amazed at the things that you're looking at, because it wasn't possible on the previous rendering technology. So very cool. Sad to see it go, but I'm sure somebody saves this on their hard drive somewhere.
Yeah.
Moving on to something that I'm particularly excited about. Stray reviews are in. Stray is a game that's coming out tomorrow, July 19th, 2022, and it is a PS4, PS5, and PC game in which you play as a cat. And you play as a cat in a cyberpunk setting. And I'm assuming you're stealthing your way around, snapping some necks.
I don't know about all that.
You gotta build a skill tree. You're gonna jump off this church, you know what I'm saying? And then like when you jump down, it's gonna be hey, and you're gonna land there. And there's this animus machine. All right, no. It looks like a stealth-based, sort of puzzle-based action adventure game, but I like the setting. I'm not really trying to think too hard on it. I don't know how you feel about like how it looks, but I was sold on just the looks, and I'm going in blind.
Like the looks itself is gorgeous. I mean, like graphically, it looks like a beautiful game. I did see that the trophy list, they actually have a trophy for completing the game in under 2 hours. So I was like, okay, so I guess it could actually be a pretty short game if you really like try to.
I heard it was brief in general.
Yeah,
I don't know what the length is.
I'm not mad at that. Like a good like 3 to 5 hour game right now. That might be what we all need right now, to be honest.
Yeah,
just get a little sweet spot.
I have no issue with something I can actually beat because
it'd be nice and digestible pretty quick.
Lazy Jay-Z podcast newsflash: we're not paying the bills with this. Like we got other stuff that we're doing, so it's nice to be able to beat something. I pre-ordered on Steam. They had it at 10% off. But nice. you have a PlayStation console. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to get it with your. Did you ever upgrade to the?
I have not.
I think we literally just talked about that.
We'll see as I start getting more into PlayStation again. If I get absorbed into that ecosystem, or if I just stick with Steam. I haven't made up my mind yet, but we'll see. We don't know what the future may behold yet.
I heard through videogameschronicle.com that they actually just started a 7-day trial of the extra stuff. So you could possibly 7-day trial and beat. Just saying, they did it, not you. You didn't do that. They timed it perfectly for you to get this game for 7 days.
That's not bad.
So it's something to think about. As far as the reviews coming in, generally when a game comes out, I'm old now, and I still remember caring about the numbers next to a score. I know I shouldn't, but I do. So when a game comes out, I tend to just sort of see what are the critics saying?
Yeah.
What's the roundup? I usually just type in the name on Google, like, Stray review roundup. They didn't have an article for me yet. GameSpot.com, please hire me. They didn't have a article up yet. But so I did my own little roundup. Guardian gave it a 5 out of 5. Polygon doesn't do scores. They loved it. I refuse to read any of the text because I do want to go into it blind.
Does it have a Metacritic yet, or nothing from Metacritic?
Let's see. Stray Metacritic. Stray for PS5. It says an 84 on Metacritic. A convenient number of 69 critic reviews. So that's not bad. Let me go back to here. Games Radar, 4 out of 5. IGN, 8 out of 10. GI, 8 out of 10. And I forgot what site this was, but 4.5 out of 5. So just a positive review scores. I just don't really want to read about it. I don't know how you
can definitely see like these e-boy and e-girl stream game.
Yeah. Let them live. Let them live. They can do that.
I mean, like for sure. But this game has a and this might be like hitting the nail on the head, perfect audience for this type of game.
Yeah, well, think about
they have a dedicated meow button.
Do they?
They have a dedicated meow button.
Okay, well,
that's the cutest thing ever.
So this is in line with what, the Goose Game, right?
Could you like what the fuck does a goose make, a honk?
Yeah, and it has a dedicated flap your wings button for like no reason other than it's funny to flap your wings. It's just
mischief
funny
and chaos. Yeah,
those games.
I would love a dedicated hissing. Cat could just like at people, that would be hilarious.
I like that stuff. I try to back away. So I call those games Twitter people games. I try to back away from the hype because Twitter people, I love them. They could be very hyperbolic when they find something to be cute. So it'll be like, this is the best game ever, 5 out of 5. I can honk, haha. Everyone, look, we're in on the same joke. Yes, but it's a game good. I like to wait like 3 weeks and not be a part of that discourse, and then we can actually talk about the game because so those games are infinitely shareable. You want to share a screenshot of you honking at somebody or like meowing, you know what I mean? Like it makes for good Twitter gifs and laughs. So like I get it, but I like to wait. This game doesn't look like that to me. This game looks like it actually is a game.
There's definitely some mystery to it because it does look like a weird, like a dystopian future kind of thing. I haven't seen any actual humans in the game; it's all robots from the trailers.
Yeah, so I'm excited to play it. If I was home, I'd live stream it. I wonder if there's a way to live stream it from my Steam Deck.
Do you think they have any dogs in this game?
Absolutely, robot dogs. You're running away from them. That's your main antagonist.
Take that, Nintendo.
Where's my robot Nintendogs? Give me that one. Sponsored by Best Buy. Let's here's one that given our history watching E3 together might be interesting. Reed Pop, the organizers of such events as the Star Wars event, Comic-Con, and PAX, it has been contracted to run the show for next year's E3 in place of the ESA.
So E3 is confirmed that it's happening again.
Confirmed.
That's interesting.
So, every single time someone says E3 is dead,
yeah,
I kind of want it to. I just want it to die now. Like it's because we've talked about it for so long. But it's one of the. It's just keeps coming back to life. I just don't.
Will it ever be the same?
No. But let me read over some. Read Pop's comments.
These major companies have such big inflated egos now. We can no longer share their gaming space. You know what I mean? Like PlayStation, I don't see Sony getting on the same stage right after or before Microsoft anymore. It's like we have to have our own stage at our own time with our own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of attitude going on.
Well, there's a couple. A lot of that was not only. A lot of that was the ESA's fault, I guess is what I'm saying, of like not making it attractive enough for a company to be a part of what literally is a weeks long advertisement. So if they're not offering any incentive other than like we got a space. Weirdly enough,
you think Jeff Keighley's feeling threatened by this news? Like, oh shit, now I gotta go hard for Summer Games Fest.
Jeff Keighley has way too much invested in his shit to not try hard. You know what I mean? Like that dude's in it. He's not stopping.
No, he's not. He's not. And he got like support now. I mean, he's been doing this for so many years.
Okay.
We should have a Keighley Fest.
I would go to the Keighley Fest. Only if there's like I can get a Keighley backpack and Keighley swag. Like I would just explore the meme. Fuck it.
They gotta bring back like the Old Spice robot and all that shit.
I do not care for the consumer version of what E3 has like turned into, really. I care about the stuff that maybe people don't care about anymore back when we were watching it together, which was like, yo, in 3 days, we're going to pump you with so much fucking news. Your eyeballs are going to explode and you're going to be excited about it. And that's it. And then in between those 3 days, industry professionals, not schmucks like me and you that just go there and be like, can I get a pretzel and some fucking Zelda like stickers? Like, fuck that. It's not what I like. We have events for that already. I like this space to be like industry people meet, talk, interview each other, and we get interesting thoughts and perspective. And I mean, you just get cool shit. Are you
saying cut access to the public entirely?
They're not going to, for like a number of reasons. And one, Reed Pop only does consumer stuff. So like,
right.
I don't think they will, but like that was the only thing I cared about at the end of the day for the original E3 was like, this place is exclusive for industry insiders, and you go there and other industry insiders meet together and they have interesting conversations. It was never about like, I want to go there and wait in line for 3 hours. That's not like ever what that was about to me. So whatever they do on the consumer side is not going to interest me. But the comments that they make about how they want to handle it, it sounds like for the first time in like E3 history, the people that might be running E3 actually understand this. So they say, commenting on the news, ReedPop said E3 2023 would welcome back publishers, developers, journalists, content creators, manufacturers, buyers, and licensors, and also highlight digital showcases and feature in-person consumer components. So if you separate those two statements, what I hear is, we know that the bread and butter of what made E3 special was industry.
Right.
We also want the consumer stuff. I'm reading a lot into it, but this is their statement. We're going to try to find a way to make both things happen. I don't know how they're going to pull that off, but before, ESA's message was, yo, you want to wait in a line? They didn't have a plan. At least these people kind of sort of have an idea of what made E3 special, so that kind of excites me.
It's kind of crazy how they just like fumbled the whole idea of E3, because I mean they had that formula perfected. They were, if anything, the curators, like the originators of that formula, and then they just dropped the ball. Have no E3 this year. I don't even remember E3 last year. Be honest. And then now like Comic-Con and ReedPop comes in, and like, did they license E3? I didn't know E3 was something you could buy.
Well, no, so ReedPop isn't like buying or licensing E3. The ESA, they're
owners, hiring them.
They're hiring them to run the event. ESA is basically going, we clearly don't know what we're doing. We own the name and we have the contract to rent out the space for the next 10 years. Please help me. Is basically what they're doing. Another comment from.
If they get them like creative freedom, then I think they'll be in good hands. I hope so.
Kyle Marston Kish, the VP of gaming for ReedPop, says, for years we've listened, heard, and studied the global gaming community's feedback. E3 2023 will be recognizably epic, a return to form that honors what's always worked while reshaping what didn't.
That's interesting.
So
those are some hefty words there.
A lot of words about we get it, we remember, we know. So
I don't know, man. We might have to apply for that press pass.
What's up? That sounds more enticing to me than like, we're gonna make this a world-class like consumer event. I do not care about that. Like, we have that already. And like, who needs that? Do you need to wait in line for 3 hours to play a 5-minute demo of like Tekken 9? Like, I don't need to do that.
You know, people out there will absolutely do that.
Yes, but I do not need to do that.
Nah, fuck no. I just want the deets. Let me go see the showcases, and that's all I need.
Yeah, and I want to get interesting content from journalists who are interviewing like other developers. Like, you don't really see that anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's I mean, you see it, but it's like few and far between. Or before, when you would go to E3, you would just have like piles of videos of people interviewing developers. That was way more interesting. So we'll see. Maybe ReedPop does something. This is the most hopeful I've been about the ESA and E3 for like probably 5 years now.
No, this is good news. I'm excited for them. I hope it goes well.
And interesting to see with E3 deciding that they want to hire ReedPop. Keeley clearly not stopping what he's got going on because he has too much money invested, and he's been successful. I'm not a fan of the Keeley events myself. Like, they're fine. The presentation of them, I don't know. It's just kind of it's not horrible, but Nintendo does their own thing. Sony does their own thing. Microsoft does their own thing. Microsoft puts their stuff in the middle of Keeley stuff, but really it's their own thing. Everyone's like this. So how does E3 relevant without the, you know what I mean? Without the developers actually showing up. So that's that.
And then these guys are like a little like coming out of nowhere with this information, and PlayStation already, I'm pretty sure they already have something lined up for this year. Nintendo.
PlayStation has been off of that for a while.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure they're cooking up something. It just feels like it. Nintendo's like, hey, we could just save money and stream all this shit. They're fucking Nintendo Directs.
Yeah.
So boring.
Nintendo does not need. Nintendo will pull up a Nintendo Direct in like they'll tell you Nintendo Direct at 6:07 p.m. and millions of views. Like they don't need it. They don't need it. Which is like the interesting challenge for them is like how do you get these big players to like play along, right? And like make it the 3 day to 5 day like event that it used to be. I don't know how they do that, but
yeah, a lot of hands-on shit. But I'm excited. Might look forward to that next year.
This one's a quick, predictable but sad news. CD Projekt Red stock fallen 75% since CP 2077 release, which at this point that game came out in November 2020. Yeah, November 2020.
Pretty fucking sad.
So that
was crazy.
Is a year and a half.
Like as soon as I was so hyped for Cyberpunk, I was the guy that was hyping this up to all my friends. Like, you have to try this game out. It's gonna be like a next gen Grand Theft Auto. You could do anything, hop in any car. They have so much detail. And
that's the marketing, man.
The game comes out, and I'm at a strip club in the video game, and I jump on top of a couch, and my whole game crashes, and I'm like, what the fuck happened? I played it on PS4. Back on launch. That was insane. But I was so hyped for it that I was actually looking into some CDPR stock because I was like, damn, they're coming out with Cyberpunk and then the success of The Witcher and then The Witcher Netflix shows. Okay, like CD Projekt Red is actually doing pretty fucking decent right now. They're on fire. What could go wrong, right? Like something just told me, like, you know what? No, don't do it. Don't put it into CDPR, but just watch them. And here we are, like fucking 2 years later, 75% dive. That's fucking terrible. Thank God I did not invest into CDPR.
That's crazy.
That's wild. Like they're fucking trying, but like they shot themselves in the foot.
It was. I mean, there should no clip. Danny O'Brien, you need to make a documentary on this, even though they'll never let you interview them. I mean, this story has been rehashed like a million times, but I really don't think that this was a marketing issue. This was a planning and scheduling issue. This was a quality issue.
A developmental crisis.
This was a project management issue. I when I see stuff like this, I never blame individual people. I go like, there was a set of people in charge of management, and if something doesn't go that way, you know what I mean? Like, there's somebody was in charge of the vision here. Something happened.
Absolutely.
So, that absolutely sucks balls, especially when all the smoke and mirrors, the fucking flames of what they left behind, and you just get the game itself. I still think that game is like probably one of the sleepers of like the past year and a half. I still think the story is great. The world is awesome. It took them like a year and some change for me to be able to play in a way that like actually looks impressive. But like I think the game, there's a fucking golden nugget there that no one is going to talk about anymore because like
what they went through. Yeah,
like this game's a joke. I bring this up and it's like half the time it's like, you like that game, and I'm like, I fucking love this game, but like I can't. Now I gotta like convince you that it's good. Whatever. But yeah, that super sucks.
Will they bounce back from this? Will there be mass firing? Probably.
There already has been, I think, some layoffs. They are not remaking, but they're like upgrading The Witcher 3 and re-releasing it for PS5 and Xbox Series X, which to me smells like, yo, easy money. Like, please give us some money. They're gonna add ray. I do not mind updates that add technology. Like if they're adding ray tracing, they're a high resolution shit like that. Whatever. But this is the kind of move that makes a company go safe for a long time. Like they'll go like, we're just gonna, our 5-year to 10-year plan is Witcher, and that's just what we're doing. We're not nothing new.
That's what they talked about, right? They're working on a new Witcher title.
Mm-hmm. Well, when you're a public company, you got to make sure that you're like, yo, we're still good. We're
yeah, absolutely.
We're good. No, we're pumping, dude. We got another Witcher. It's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be great. Which it might be fine. Like, you know, Witcher 4 might be great, but I'm not buying anything day one from them ever again. Like, I need to see it first.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or if we do this long enough, I think let me reverse that. We might actually be the people that do buy it day one, so the other people don't buy it day one. It's actually what happens, because we got to talk about it. What's next here? This one we were just talking about, Joswell. The purchase of Bungie is official. Sony now owns Bungie,
which is insane, man. Like we were saying, they're just absorbing all these fucking like Xbox entities or Microsoft entities, and it's like, what a fucking time to be alive.
Think about that trajectory. Do you know their history?
Bungie?
Yeah, they're a weird company, dude.
Yeah.
I'm about to Google when they were founded, but I feel like I'm pretty good at remembering. They started off as a Mac developer, and they made RTS games, and they made a first-person shooter that was exclusive for the Mac OS called Marathon. Then they started making Halo, and Halo was an RTS game too, and then some dude was like, yo, let's add a gimmick in this RTS mode that makes it first-person, and then the entire team was like, I like playing a first-person better, and they just started making a first-person game. Then the Xbox was coming out, have you seen that documentary?
I think so.
That shit is fascinating.
Was like the Bungie's origins and stuff?
No, well, there's
or is it Halo's origin?
The origin of Xbox, just how the console got launched. That is fascinating because Xbox is, without Bungie, there is no Xbox.
Right.
There's nothing, because like,
that's what got everybody on board, pretty much.
Yeah. No, they needed a killer app. Back then, if you didn't have that game when it came out, and then you were a new player in the game, you didn't have one of those games, like, what the...
Yeah, and it wasn't like Halo 2 rushed, so it could, like produce something.
Because that was the only thing that was, like, moving numbers like that. Like, there were games that were selling, but, like, that was their Mario, their Zelda, their Grand Theft Auto. That was their version of that.
That was their poster child.
Yep. Their mascot, basically. So, like...
Still is. I would argue it still is.
Yep.
For real.
Even rough times now. Rough times for Mr. Chief, for John Halo. But yeah, so Mac OS, then they got purchased, and then they were like, yo, I know you've never made a console game before. You're going to make a console game. I know that FPSs suck on the controller at this point in time. You're going to do that too. You're going to figure it out. Also, we don't know what the specs are going to be. Here you go. And, like, that was rough, dude. Like, if you see the Halo shit, that shit's crazy. But, so then they got purchased by Microsoft. They stayed with Microsoft up until Halo Reach, and then they purchased back their independence from Microsoft, which, when the fuck have you ever heard of that before? Like, that's weird. Microsoft goes off and makes 343 because Halo.
Yeah, we gotta keep it alive.
Can't let Halo die. Then Bungie's like, yo, we're gonna do like a 5-year contract with Activision. Then
make a game very close to Halo.
Very close to Halo, but you know, like sort of obviously a different take, a more connected experience.
Right.
Which was also wildly successful. However you feel about Destiny, like that game was very successful.
Yeah. I had a good time with Destiny. It was fun.
Then they buy themselves out of that too, and they're like, "Well, we're done with this. Like, and we're gonna own the IP. We're keeping Destiny." And Activision was like, "Fuck it, keep it." And then they just sort of do their own thing. They get a 10-cent investment, and now they're owned by Sony. Like, all those jumps. Like, this company's still going. This company's weird as shit.
But they're upward trajectory the whole time, which is crazy.
They only get bigger. They're clearly like a talented bunch. I don't know how many of the originals remain, but I mean, whatever they did, they're doing it right now. Like, if they passed on knowledge or like even like business savvy, that stuff is more important than we give it credit for. Like, if you don't know how to run a business, I don't give a damn how good your game is. Like,
yeah, fucking take notes 343 because Lord knows what the fuck is going on right now.
yeah. I still hope for the best for them because I love Halo, man. But yeah. Speaking of, we should play some Halo co-op when it comes out. We should do that.
What, does it have an official drop yet? The official release?
Does Halo co-op have official release? Google.
Because right now, there's like a private beta going on, right? Something like that. Invite only beta going on.
Late August is release date for network co-op play. That might be enough time for us to get some Halo in of the old ones. Halo 1, Halo 2, whatever. But yeah, no, the purchase is official for Sony, which goes in line with them wanting that studio because they specifically state that part of their mission statement is to make more connected experience, free to play games, because Sony feels like they really don't have any of those kind of experiences. They all their bank is on expensive big budget single player games. They don't have games with recurring income like a
even though like they have the user base for it, because a lot of people play those games on their console, but they just want that first party titles like get all the fucking money.
Yeah. They got to be growing, as they say. So yeah, that's.
Do you think Factions could be a live service game
if we're dotting the lines with what they're saying about what they want their products to be in the next 5 years? Yeah. If
Naughty Dog is saying, hey, like this is actually like they delayed it because they were like, this is one of our most ambitious and biggest titles we've ever created. I'm like, how big could it fucking be? We just want a multiplayer Factions game. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, who knows? They're probably making a whole fucking experience.
They're probably looking at that and going like, how much money is this multiplayer Factions game going to make me versus if we put 200 million into this and then we make this big ass Destiny-like experience. Like,
that would be wild. In a Last of Us environment, that would be crazy.
That would be nuts. That would be nuts. I still enjoy Naughty Dog's gameplay mechanics and sensibilities, so I would still be curious. I would still be curious as to how that would shake out for them.
Their quality control, like their level of like polish is like, I feel like they really set the example, or definitely one of the top to set the example.
It has to be painful to work there. Like I can't imagine it's easy. I cannot imagine it's easy working there.
I'm sure they have some passionate people in there too.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you can't be that great without a little level of crazy and a little level of passion.
Yeah, for sure. So crazy. Other than that, man, I think I had a lot of fun recording this first episode.
Yeah, we're running on about an hour, 45 minutes, 43 minutes. Not bad.
Not bad at all. I'm thinking about what I'm gonna do. I think I might play some more Persona. I think so. What I'll do.
I have this elephant that I have to destroy on Horizon because he's been fucking me up, and I'm under leveled and I don't have enough metal shards, but I'm gonna find one way to fuck him up or another.
You know what? This is what I'll do as well, just for you. I'm gonna make some food. I'm gonna pop up the Resident Evil show. I'm gonna watch the first episode, and then I'll just talk about it in the next episode. And I'll give you shit, and if I like it, we'll be in the bad camp together. We'll do it.
All right. I feel like we should have touched up a little bit about it on this episode first, but
don't worry about it.
That's cool.
Don't worry about it.
Little insider thing there, but it's definitely a good show. It's decent.
No, did we not talk about that in the Am I crazy? I feel like we did, didn't we?
We talked about it last night and before the show.
Oh fuck! Time is an illusion, bro. That's fuck it. Whatever. Holtzwell's watching the show. I'm gonna watch the show too. Everybody, thank you for the non-existent viewers for it's a lazy Jay-Z show. So we do here talk about video games and then don't give you context on the shows we're about to watch. Everyone, my name is Zab. You can follow us on Twitter at LazyJZ Show. You can follow us on Instagram, LazyJZ Show, and you can find us on YouTube and LazyJZ Show. And if you really want to do something just shady, you can email us at lazyjzshow@gmail.com. But don't text me. Only text me only message me awful things on that platform.
We're calling it the Lazy Jay-Z Show because you're gonna get what you're gonna get, and you're gonna like it. But we are working on making every episode better as we gradually progress forward.
Yep.
So definitely thank you guys for tuning in. We'll have little like Easter eggs every episode, like slowly getting more and more better.
Mm-hmm.
quality and content, and you know, more accessibility for sure. Different places you could reach us.
Yep, this is a learning experience for us, and we're thankful for anything that we get. So, yep, that about does it. I'm gonna click this button here that says stream ending, and see you later.
Peace, guys.